Hello everyone, this is the Bovine Terror, and today we will be playing Subnautica. Now, today, we will begin trying to scan everything. So, I'm gonna just be going around and trying to scan animals. Is my... let me drop some of this off just real fast. See if I can build a few more things to just help me do stuff. Oh, you know what? We haven't looked at a lot of these things. Let's see, what... Oh, high capacity, okay. What other things have we found that it was telling me? Oh yeah, the swivel chair, I remember that one. Alright, we got everything there. Oh yeah, these are the logs. Okay, we don't need to do that. But these were some of the things we found. So this is geological data. Let's see. Limestone outcrops. These unusual geologic structures often form around titanium and copper deposits and are distinct to this planet. Closer analysis reveals the stone around the metal has been hardened against erosion, but the mechanism remains unknown. That's kind of weird, actually. I wonder why the stone has been hardened against erosion. That's kind of weird, huh? Scattered wreckage. Analysis confirms this wreckage is from the aurora. Outer layers of the material have oxidized, suggesting it has been heated to over 1200 Celsius. That's really hot. This pattern is consistent with hull disintegration during atmospheric entry. Makes sense. Salvage of intact portions of Altera vessels is prohibited at legal, moral, and technical levels. However, scraps such as these may be reclaimed for the titanium content at any Altera fabricator. Okay, well, it's not intact, so, you know, that's all that matters for that. Okay, let's go out and start scanning some stuff.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
Oh yeah, I'll have to go up and watch the aurora when that happens. Alright, let's go scan something. I got my scanning thing. Hey Peeper, you're like the first thing in the game. Can I scan you? I scanned you a little bit. Don't run away. Come here. No. This isn't that easy. Hey, you, come here. Come here. Yeah, I'm scanning you. I'm gonna get you. Come here. Come here. This is really not that easy. I thought these would be easier to scan. No! Why are you running away? I'm just trying to scan you. Stay. Ah ha 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 ha! I gotcha! Okay, let's just go up to the top here and read about that. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay, it wasn't working for some reason. Alright, fauna. Herbivores. Peeper. Alright, Peeper. A fast prey fish encountered in shallow waters and rich in protein. Developed side-facing eyes. Capable of discerning colors not just in shallow waters, but in a variety of lighting conditions. It is also able to close its eyelids, thus preventing light from reflecting off the lenses and rendering the Peeper almost invisible to nighttime predators. Oh, that's kind of cool. Powerful fins. This species has evolved powerful fins which enable rapid acceleration in still water, and the ability to leap meters into the air to avoid pursuers. Beak. Likely used to break down corals and tough vegetation. Okay, everybody, first biology lesson. It's calling this an herbivore. If it eats coral, it's not an herbivore, because corals are animals. Alright? Corals are in the same family as jellyfish, which is Nidaria. And so... wait, is that more specific? Wait, hold on. I'm going to make sure all my facts here are correct. Yes, they are in the phylum Nidaria. So, corals are in the phylum Nidaria, and, like, actually, okay. Essentially, corals are animals. I'll go talk about corals more when we find an actual coral, and then we can actually talk about it, but just so we all get that clear. These are omnivores. They're not herbivores, because they're eating vegetation and they're eating coral. So, just get that out of the way. Anyway, an unusually large nasal cavity serves no obvious purpose and appears to be specially evolved to detect a single specific enzyme. Nothing encountered on the planet so far produces a matching odor. What's the enzyme? No, I'm curious about that. Huh. Alright. Expulsion tubes. The tubes attached to the peeper's torso are connected directly to its stomach and gills, and appear to be designed to expel its contents on demand. Purpose unclear. Connected directly to its stomach. Oh, well then it probably just expels, like food in its stomach to ward off predators from eating it. That would make sense. Yeah, while the peeper is well adapted to survive in shallow waters, a number of its features serve no discernible purpose. It would appear to be just as well suited to survive in deeper waters, and is somewhat more intelligent than the usual small herbivore. Assessment: edible, high calorie count, further research required. Well, I can't research it more. I can't scan something more after I've scanned it, right? No, I don't want to scan you. I want to try to scan this peeper. No, come back. Okay, they say that they're fast-moving, but I'm keeping up with it by just swimming in the water. Yeah, I can't scan it again. That's not that fast. Oh, look, okay, there's this coral. We'll scan this. Alright, cool. So this is coral. So we can talk a little bit more about coral now that I've actually scanned this. You know what, you're here, so why not? Never mind, you're gone. Okay. So, stay out of the water, please. There we go. Okay. So, let's look at the coral here. Alright. The variety of coral formations on 4546b appear to be different solutions to the same problem of maximizing water and nutrient flow throughout the colony. These particular variants funnel water down a tube, filtering nutrients as they pass. Their size suggests that they have been highly successful. Assessment: coral tube samples are rich in calcium, exploitable in bleach fabrication. Interesting. So they funnel water down the tube. It's kind of like a sponge almost. Like sponges funnel in water from like the sides, and then they expel the water out the top. So I would imagine with this giant coral tube that it is... Okay, here's another thing. Coral is a micro predator. So what it does is that so, like I said, it was related to jellyfish, because they're both in the phylum Nadaria. And so, since they're both in the phylum Nadaria, what it is that basically, you can't see it on a coral, really, and I almost guarantee that's what this is, because it's far too large and complex to be one single polyp. But there'll be multiple polyps that are all sitting on this coral. And essentially what they are is they're just a bunch of essentially jellyfish medusas, which is the head and the tentacles of the jellyfish, that are all sticking out, and they just calcified the outside. Like it said that this was rich in calcium. That means that they've put calcium around the outsides of all of those medusas, and that's essentially what it is. It's a colonial organism, at least this one is. Some corals are solitary, but this particular one looks colonial. I can't imagine that this complex of a structure came from a single individual. So, what this is, they're just a bunch of tiny little medusas all stuck together, and they kind of work as a unit to do this. And so probably what they do, is that they take in, so since they're micro predators, what that means is that they will eat, like, you know, they'll eat plankton, or they'll eat, you know, anything that's small enough to just get in there. But what they'll do is that they'll grab whatever these little things are with the tiny little tentacles, grab them, pull them into their stomachs, digest them, eat them, and then I would imagine once they're done doing that, their waste probably comes from inside, and then once that's done, this funnel probably has some kind of locomotion that pushes all the waste out and up, and out of the coral. That way it keeps itself free of waste. So that's what I would imagine this one is doing. So yeah, that's the coral. Let's scan some of these. Let's scan an acid mushroom. Let me scan it. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's just a quick little lesson with coral. Coral are animals. They are animals just like a jellyfish, essentially. But they're just stationary, and they're often colonial. At least in our world they are. In the past there used to be a lot more solitary ones, but nowadays there's quite a bit more. Come on. Okay, there we go. Go. Let me go. Let me go down. Come on. There we go. Okay. Flora exploitable. That's a weird place to put that. Okay, acid mushroom. I like how some of them have the pictures and some of them don't. Whatever. Alright, so a common spore-bearing fungi species. The flesh contains a highly acidic compound which leaches into the water if the outer skin is penetrated. Okay, so that makes sense. Just a defense mechanism against things eating it. It is not clear which predator species necessitated such extreme countermeasures, but the acid mushroom's number suggests it has successfully deterred most of them. Assessment, inedible, acid has applications in battery fabrication. Well, you know, once you get something that makes it to where you can't be eaten, then you have no predators, and it seems like that probably did it. Or wherever its predators are now extinct because of the mass extinction. I think these are other ones. Yeah, they are. Okay, well, let's scan this coral. Coral shell plate. Alright. Let's see. Let's just go back up to the surface so I don't drown down there. Ooh, just get up, get up. There we go. Okay. Come on, what do you... Screenshot? What did I just do? I didn't mean to take that. I don't know what I just did. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Okay, there we go. Coral shell plate. This variant of coral has adapted to survive in close proximity to other corals, filtering nutrients from the water and sharing them via a spore-like substance, which grows around the base. Assessment, no practical applications. Wait. Has adapted to survive in close proximity to other corals, filtering nutrients from the water and sharing them via a spore-like substance, which grows around the base. Is it sharing them with other corals of its kind, or is it sharing it with other species? It can't be sharing it with other species. That's kind of weird. Alright, so this looks like the stuff it was talking about, that it was excreting, like... Yeah, this is a spore-like substance which grows around the base. Interesting, okay. Huh. Alright, well, let's see. What does it want me to scan here? A veined nettle. Alright. Alright, let's see how this thing, or what this thing is. Kind of looks like a bryozoan. No, stay on the surface. Okay. Oh, it's a plant. Okay. A common shallow water plant which frequently shows signs of predation are on the edges of the leaves. Thick violet veins carry nutrients to the extremities of the fan, and brightly colored seeds grow around the base and stem. Interesting. Okay, so this is actually a plant. That's kind of strange. Let me go look at it again. Because my initial thought would have been this is a bryozoan, because in our oceans, like, sea fans that we see, they're just bryozoans, which are, like, they're tiny little organisms that are kind of similar to coral, but they have different structures and different, like, anatomies, but they do similar things, you know, they behave in similar ways. Okay, I guess they're plants. Alright, well, cool. Alright, let's see. Writhing weed. Let's see what this is. And see, here's another thing. It's like what am I looking at here? What am I... It keeps, like, indicating there was something here. I don't see anything. Anyway, so another thing, like, all of those things, like, have you seen any, like, YouTubers scanning any of that stuff? I don't know, like, I just don't see people even bothering with a lot of that stuff. So, anyway, come on. There we go. Okay. Writhing weed. Well adapted to both shallow waters and cave system, this plant lives in symbiosis with a coral species which forms around the base of the stems. Oh, wait, which one does it coincide with? Well, it is right next to the coral tubes. I wonder if it's like that with all of them. No. This just looks... Well, I can't scan it, but that just looks like... is it cerebrate coral? Essentially, like, it's a complexity... It's a certain level of complexity of coral, because certain corals have different levels of complexity with how connected they all are, and so you get things like this. Oh, it's meandroid, that's what it is. And so it has, like, they have certain complexities with how well integrated all of the individual polyps are. I don't know if that's exactly the term for that, but all the individual, like, organisms in the big organism, they... Yeah, I mean, you can't scan that. I don't think that's the one that they're talking about. I'd be a little surprised if that's the one they were talking about. And you figure out what coral species they're living in symbiosis with. That's kind of interesting. Okay, let's go back down. Let's see, what coral species... I mean, they're right next to the coral shell plate, which... Oh yeah, these are growing inside the spores that this lets off. So like if I go back to that other one that I first scanned that was near here. Oh, is it gonna explode? Yeah, they're taking up the spores from that thing. Oh, it's in 2 hours. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's yeah. So it lives in symbiosis with the shelf coral. So that's actually really cool. All right. Also, oh, I haven't done a self-scan. Like, I know I'm healthy, but I have not done a self-scan. Let's do that.
Self-scan complete. Vital signs normal. Continuing to monitor.
Cool. All right, Mr. Rabbit Ray, come here. Come here. I'm gonna get you. I'll just go really slowly, and then I'll try to run away. God damn it! Come back here! Stop swimming away from me. Come here. Haha, I gotcha! Cool. Alright, let's see what these guys are all about. Also, at some point, I need to scan the whatever those are flying up there. I'm gonna refer to them as birds. They're probably not birds, but I have to go get them at some point. Which, that's gonna take a little while, but that's okay. Alright. Herbivore small, large large. I think there's some issue there. All right, Rabbit Ray. I like to say an herbivorous. It's correct either way, but anyway. So an herbivorous aquatic life form, rabbit rays appear to live serene and solitary lives with few predators, a natural sense of curiosity, and awesomely poisonous flesh. Oh, they're poisonous. Okay. Ears. Twin orange appendages mounted on the head sense vibration in the water. Undulating wings. Markedly similar method of transportation to that of Earth rays. Zero genetic resemblance detected, suggesting these two species independently developed similar solutions to their environmental circumstances. And that is called convergent evolution, which is 100% correct. If there's any genetic resemblance to things on Earth, then I would be very concerned about invasive species on this world. Okay, evidence indicates the rabbit ray, its large side-facing eyes are relatively recent adaptations. It is likely there are related ray species in other environmental biomes on the planet. Inedible but harmless. Okay, cool. Alright, well, cool. That's... Yeah, the vibration in the water is cool. It's kind of like sharks with the pits that they have in their face. Allow them to sense magnetic fields when they're in the water. Which this is just vibration, so it's not quite the same, but it's similar in that it's probably used in a similar manner. It doesn't actually. Oh, it's herbivorous. So all right, cool. I bet it was trying to say herbivores large, but you know, whatever. All right. Anyway, cool. All right, that's the rabbit ray. Let's see what else should. Yeah. Yes, the bladderfish. We need to get a bladderfish. No. Why are you running? Don't do that. Come here. This is not that easy. Oh, gee, that was fast. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright. Bladderfish. Whoa. Was that? Yeah, there's a peeper. Hey, peeper. Alright, anyway, let's get up here. Alright, okay, there we go. Bladderfish. Alright. This unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless and bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. Alright. Semi-permeable bladder. The bladderfish is able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulate caught on the way and adjust its buoyancy. Oh wow, so it's a mobile filter feeder. That's cool. Open-ended vascular tubing. Can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity guided propulsion. Oh, so does it... Oh, it doesn't have a tail, yeah. And that's 2 open. Yeah. So it uses, like, jet propulsion, kind of like squids and octopus do. That's cool, alright. Largely oblivious to threats and practically immobile at night, its only identifiable defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. It's edible. Oxygen may be retrieved from the bladder and added to tanks on consumption. Oh, that's kind of weird. Membrane has applications as natural water filter. Okay, so it's kind of like a... Okay, so it's like a mobile sponge, essentially. Like, there's probably not a whole lot of things that eat it, because it's just, like, cartilage and water. There's not a whole lot of, like, meat to be had there. There's some, like, obviously you could get some protein, you could get some amount of... Not protein, well, yeah, probably be. Yeah. You get some amount of nutrients out of that, but probably not a lot. So it's probably, they will select against eating a bladderfish, and that's probably why they're actually still here. But they're like mobile sponges, essentially. They just filter feed, and these are filter feeders versus micropredators. A micropredator will take in, like, other animals, like plankton and stuff like that, and like, eat it. And filter feeders will just take in, like, nutrients as they pass by and digest that. It's a subtle difference, but it is a difference. So this is a filter feeder. Coral is a micropredator. So, interesting. Okay, well, cool. That's bladderfish. Alright, let's see. What else can we get? Let's see. Let's get one more thing, and then I think I will end it there. Let's try to get something that's a little dangerous. And as per, like, what I said about if I'm going to scan something dangerous, I'm going to save right before I do, and then I'll go do it. Hey, gasopod, don't do that. I don't want you to get poisoned. Come on, just stay there, just stay there, just stay there, just stay there. Gotcha! Ooh, no, I don't want to be poisoned. I haven't, it seems like it's pretty easy to dodge them, but I have seen people, if you go into that cloud, it will just kill you. So, alright, cool, we got that. So this will be the last one, and then I shall end the video there. Alright, let's, can you go above the water so I don't drown? Nice. Okay, cool. Close that. Alright, gasopod. A slow-moving life form and one of the larger herbivores on the planet. Providing a substantial meal to would-be predators, the gasopod protects its domain by filling the surrounding water with poisonous and corrosive pods whose contents dissolve even synthetic fibers. Filtration system. Oh yeah, I just realized the diagram has like a 1, 2, and a 3 based on where the things are. Okay, cool. Thick, non-reactive skin and multiple gill layers render this creature impervious to the noxic acid clouds it produces. It makes sense. Algae gland. A bulbous sac-like appendage on the rear end. A luminescent yellow algae grows inside the sac and produces the poisonous compound. Abdominal muscles can contract, causing the algae gland to emit the noxious compound into the surrounding water. That is really cool. That's a really cool example of a symbiotic relationship. That's really cool. So actually, when I do the phylogenetic tree, I'm going to do the algae and the gasopod. I'm going to do both. Large pelvic fins, capable of powerful movement through the water when moving in small herds. Alright, behavior. Gasopods appear to be social in nature, and may even use their emissions in their relationship rituals. Huh. Their audible calls are
Congratulations,
likely
Survivor.
signifiers of
You have
nearby
exceeded your
threats.
weekly exercise quotient by 500%. Data indicates that swimming was your favorite activity. Be sure to vary your routine for uniform muscle development.
I like that comment. Though swimming is really good for like all your muscles. Like it kind of exercises everything. So their audible calls are likely signifiers of nearby threats or food sources. Assessment: approach with caution. Acidic pods may be retrieved and repurposed. All right, cool. All right, cool. Well, I think I shall end that here for today. So, everyone, thank you very much, and have a great, great life.